Hello, fellow junkies of vinyl. Here to do another vinyl update. I think my last couple videos one was related to the Kiss Expo and one was related to Record Store Day. So this one's just basically a vinyl update. First thing I want to show here is something I ordered off of Amazon not too long ago. Fidget toy. It says work, class, and home. And this is basically what you can do with the fidget toy. And there's all different kinds. And this one I just liked because it's solid black. There's the fidget toy. On this side it has like this little roller and these little, I don't know what those are called. And then on this side it has like a little on and off switch. And then there's this little thing that goes around here. And then this side is just like a little, and then there's these little, looks like a dice thing with little snappy things. And then this you just rub. But I seen these on Good Mythical Morning, is a show that we watch on YouTube. And they were showing these and it's like, wow, I need to really get me one of those. So I got on Amazon. And they're fairly, most of them are fairly cheap, the ones I seen. So I went ahead and ordered one, and there it is. So if you're interested in fidget toys, check those out. So there's that. And then onto the vinyl. First one here is the second chapter of Acts, The Roar of Love. Always pick up the Christian records, gospel, religious, what have you. A lot of it's based on the sheer novelty of it, and a lot of times based on the cover. Either it's cool or it's very odd, or both. This one is really based on the character of, this is a white side, it's based on the characters of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is sort of, is that an anagram? An allogram? I'm not sure of the word I'm trying to think of for, a biblical story. So it also says that here. Most of the songs in this album were inspired by reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, one of a series of 7 books called The Chronicles of Narnia, written by C.S. Lewis. So, of course, they've made movies about those and everything. But I remember reading the book. Or no, I didn't read the book. I think I watched the BBC series back in, God, I don't know, the 80s maybe. And then I picked this up, Mo Bandy. I just started Hatin' Cheatin' Songs. Also includes Honky Tonk Amnesia. I think I'd seen this album cover on a Bad Album Covers book that I have, or maybe a couple of those books. But this is classic country for sure. Now he has a broken bottle there if you go closely. And there's songs on here like Smoke-Filled Bar, Cowboys and Playboys, How Long Does It Take to Be a Stranger. This came out in 1974, so this is when country was still country, by most people's standards, or by my standards at least. And then this one I picked up not realizing something here I'll tell you about. This is called Christine. It's a gospel record. And I think there's 2 records in here, and one of them is the actual, this one is For Those Who Hurt. It's Christine. And then this one, there's the sleeve. And then this one is Person to Person, Christine, and her last name is Wiertzen, W-I-R-T-Z-N, Wiertzen. This came out in 1986, and this other one was in 1982, and then the album sleeve, if there's anything else in there, the album sleeve is 1986, so one of these albums belongs and the other one doesn't. But, they were both in there, so I went ahead and got them. And then also picked this one up and did not realize it's the same woman. It says right up there, Christine Weirdson, Critter Country. And I want to say I have another one of her records that's this Critter County. I guess it's called Critter County. A fun adventureland where kids learn verses set to music. So, pretty sure I have another one of hers. And here we got some pictures of some kids there. And then this here, Shuttlebug, can be colored. Looks like a coloring page. But, yeah, you know, I'm sure this is pretty amusing to listen to if you're into that. And then this next album, I think it was online, that someone had gave a review of it, and they said it's like one of her best albums, and you really should pick it up if you find it. And then I seen it one day at Half Price Books, and I think they wanted, it was either $10 or $15 for it. And I was half tempted to get it because I just read that review, and a lot of times that kind of thing happens. But then it's like, I really don't want to pay that much for it, you know. I mean, you know, you have to really want something to pay a certain price for it. But then I found it. I waited for a long time, and that copy, I think the last time I was at Half Price, is still there. And then I waited and waited, and ending up finding it at a Goodwill for 99 cents. Nancy Sinatra, Country My Way, and this has Such a Pretty World Today, Walk Through This World With Me, Jackson, Oh Lonesome Me, but there's Lee Hazelwood there with her on the back too, and her in her cowboy outfit. So I haven't listened to this one yet, but I like Nancy Sinatra. I have quite a few of her records, and so I'm sure I'll like this. So yeah, I waited long enough that I didn't have to pay much at all. And then this next one is sort of similar to that. It's Bobby Gentry, Ode to Billy Joe, and I know that song. I don't know these other songs on here. There's one called Bugs, Lazy Willie, Chickasaw County Child, Mississippi Delta. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Bobby Gentry was married to Waylon Jennings. Could be wrong about that, but I want to say that that's who he was married to. It doesn't really say on here, and I don't think it would. It's on Capitol. So, yep. And then this one here is a guy that used to be on Hee Haw back in the day, Walking on New Grass, Kenny Price. And I don't remember, I know when he was on the show, he was sort of just one of the extra guys that, you know, did the skits and stuff, like a lot of the other ones did. And I think he might have been one of the guys that was in the gospel quartet, the Hee Haw quartet. And then this one is, it's funny, it's the same picture. One Hit Follows Another by Kenny Price, Walking on New Grass, and Happy Tracks. So I'm thinking that these are, they look like they're different albums, but some of these songs are the same and some are different. So, but this one is actually signed. It says, To Cindy and Kevin, Best Wishes, Kenny Price. So he signed this one. And I think, if I remember the story right, he had died when he was doing Hee Haw, I think. Seems like I'd heard something about that. And then Golden Vibes by Lionel Hampton with reeds and rhythm. Anything that's vibraphone. I also call that xylophone, but back then it was called vibraphone. I don't know if there's a difference between the two. But I love this kind of stuff. It's sort of exotica sounding to me a little bit. Also, of course, the Cool and Strange genre. And then this one, when I first picked it up, I thought it was Creedence Clearwater Revival, but it's a group called the Wedgwood, but the name of the album is Revival, and it sort of looks like one of their covers. I can't remember which one that it sort of mimicked there, and I'm sure that was intentional. felt a lot of people probably fell for that. I mean, you know, a lot of album covers were designed by the same people, or they were intentionally designed to look like something else, based on popularity. But anyway, I picked this one up, and it's a group called the Wedgwood, like I said. And I don't know anything about this group, but you know, if it sounds anything like CCR, you know, it's going to be good. But there they are. I don't know if I showed that picture on the inside. I'm not sure what year this came out. It's 70 something probably. So there's that. And then I also have an album that I really like this cover. It's Town to Town by Phil Keaggy. And the rain there sort of battling, it's like wind and rain to get in or out of the taxi cab with their suitcase, I guess it is, their guitar case. There's the back. And then here's the sleeve. Not much to see there. And then the record on Sparrow. But Phil Keaggy is a really good guitarist, a Christian artist. Actually, I guess I was at a record show not too long ago, and he's apparently very sought after because a lot of his albums are out of print, I think, if I understood the conversation these two guys were having next to me. One was a vendor, and this other guy was looking for anything that was Phil Keaggy related, and the guy said, "Oh, I got some of them at home, but I don't bring them in because I don't really want to sell them." And the guy was asking him if he had a certain title by him and this and that. Yeah, that's a hard one to find, this and that. And it's like, it was news to me. I mean, I think I have one Phil Keaggy CD, and I might have 2 or 3 on vinyl. But I don't know, I guess it's just a preference like anything else. I prefer to listen to more rock-oriented stuff, or even, you know, an easy listening album to me with a cool cover is more enticing, but that's just me. And then the last one here is Green Green Grass at Home by Tom Jones. And I already have this record, but the one I have is the U.S. version. This is an import. It's not in the greatest of shape, but the U.S. version, this front cover is the back cover, and this back cover is the front cover. So they've just switched them. Of course, this has some damage there, but since it was Tom Jones and it was a import, and it's an original Decca record from 1967, and it's in pretty good shape, minus the little bit of the damage there. It's like, of course I'm going to pick that up. Why wouldn't I? Tom Jones is a very great artist. If you're not familiar with him, I mean, on here he does Green Green Grass at Home. That's like one of his most popular songs. Then he always does covers of other people's stuff. 16 Tons, He'll Have to Go, Ring of Fire, Detroit City, Mohair Sam. So yeah, Tom Jones, if you're not familiar with him, he's definitely a cool and strange artist, depending on your tastes in music. So, give me a thumbs up if you like that. Please subscribe, and thanks for watching. Leave me some comments if you have anything that you want to discuss, mention, talk about, correct, so on and so forth. And we'll see you in the next vinyl update coming up real soon, like.